Peace and blessings, family. This is Brother Sharif, live and direct from the great state of PA with the Hour of Power and the Black Love Movement. In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his mercy and his goodness to the human family. If all the trees upon the earth were pens to write with, and if all the oceans were ink, and then another 7 oceans to add to its supply, the writing would still not be enough to explain the glory of God, for he's the exalted, all-powerful, all-wise. We confide in no other in our time of need, and we praise no other in our good fortune. He is one. And even if I lived to be 1,000, it would still not be enough to thank God for his many blessings and gifts. This is Brother Sharif with the Hour of Power and the Black Love Movement. I greet everyone in words of peace. To my Muslim family, Assalamu Alaikum. To my Christian family, praise the Lord. To my Black conscious family, Hotep. To my Hebrew Israelite family, Shalom. And to my people in the streets, what's good with you? It all means peace. So again, this is Brother Sharif with the Hour of Power and the Black Love Movement. Just have a couple things to share with the family. All positive, of course. But before we get into our short talk, which is entitled, the main title is in caption, achieving greatness despite opposition. Achieving greatness despite opposition. And we're going to talk about all the beautiful events going on this weekend, particularly today, and put some of our people on the map so they can be successful. And their success means our success. If you're jealous and you're envious and you don't want for your brother what you want for yourself, you're actually blocking your own blessing. I'm going to say it again. If you're jealous and envious of your own brother and sister, you're actually blocking your own blessing. Peace, Mr. Morgan. You got a beautiful wife. I hope you don't mind me saying that. I'll be talking about her soon. I'm sure you already know that. I met some beautiful people at the African American Roundtable discussion today. One of the sisters I met, I forget her name, but she has an event that she does. She's going to do this Saturday, September the 22nd of this year, at Cherry Lane, right there at the old Zakey's. That's what always reminds me of it. So that's September the 22nd, 2018. And it's an art, music, and fashion festival at Cherry Lane. And it's the 4th annual. I never knew it was a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd annual. But she gave me this flyer, and it starts at 3 p.m. So again, the 4th annual York Soul, Saturday, September 22nd, 2018, at 3 p.m., art, music, and fashion at Cherry Lane. And it's called the York Soul. I never knew they had such a thing. And she also, her and her husband actually gave this to me on Friday, October the 5th. It's called the Air Ebony Lounge. So it's like a Caribbean fest that they're having, Caribbean and reggae. But I really like that first one, the York Soul Fest at Cherry Lane, the 22nd at 3 p.m. And our good brother Chuck Raw, he was supposed to have his event yesterday, but because of the threat of rain, he rescheduled it to next Saturday, September 15th, from 2 to 8 at Kiwanis Lake Park. Bounce houses, vendors, food, spoken word. He's going to have a lot of good events. So that's our good brother Chuck Raw. He'll be having his event September 15th at Kiwanis Lake from 2 to 8. Our brother Chuck Raw have that event. Some positive people. I mean, I'm so overfilled with joy about what's going on in York. I don't know what to do with myself. My wife, Sister Takia, go to her page, Lady Hamid. If you are interested in adopting a family or nominating a family to be adopted, it's people that need clothes, cleaning supplies, food, books, hygiene products, the whole 9. Go to Lady Hamid on Facebook. That's my wife, Takia. Go to Lady Hamid on Facebook if you're interested in adopting a family or nominating a family to be adopted so they can get clothes, cleaning supplies, food, books, hygiene products, whatever you need to survive. Lady Hamid on Facebook. So it's plenty of people doing positive things. And this is directed around the holiday season. But as you know, people need things all times of the year, but people seem to be more in the giving spirit around the holiday time. Whatever brings good out of people, it is what it is. Well, Brother Sharif, I thought you was a Muslim. Yeah, well, I am, but I'm also into helping our people. I don't care what time of the year it is. And eggnog is so good around that time of the year. My goodness. Anyway, I'm get distracted easy. All right. Now, man, today, if you weren't at Cornerstone Baptist Church for the second annual African American roundtable discussion, you missed something. That's why I had that song playing a couple minutes ago. A change is going to come. Man, they had all kind of speakers there. At first, Satan was playing on me a little bit. Satan does whisper in your ear. Do you know that? Do you remember the other than these notes I want to tell about one of our ancestors? I just speak from my heart. So I forgot to tell you, viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to say it again. Viewer discretion is advised. Other than a couple notes that I have, I want to tell you about one of our great ancestors who has been swept under the rug. I'm just speaking from the heart. Viewer discretion is advised. You remember that cartoon, The Flintstones? Do y'all remember that? The Flintstones. Do you remember that little blue guy that used to sit on Fred and Wilma and Barney's shoulder? His name was Gazoo. Do you know that is a symbolic form of Satan? I'm going to say it again. That little man that used to sit on their shoulder to try to get them to do all kind of evil things. Do you know that is a symbolic form of Satan in the flesh? He was always trying to get them and suggesting things to them to get them all messed up. Well, that's real. Satan like that. What's his name? Gazoo? Thank you, sis. His name was Gazoo. Yeah, that's real. That is real. Satan in the flesh. So Satan or Gazoo was on my shoulder this morning, right? On my shoulder this morning saying, this program is going to be long. It's going to be 8 hours. I would only go there for an hour, a half hour if I was you. And if it wasn't for my good brother Alafia's program, I would have stayed there the whole time. But I had to take care of my boys, and I had to keep my word with my good brother Alafia, who I'm going to talk about in a couple of seconds. So Satan, Gazoo, whatever you want to call him, was whispering in my ear. But I'm so glad that I went there as long as I did. What a powerful program. I can't call out everyone's name because I wasn't even there the whole time, but I was there most of the time. What a powerful, powerful program. Our sister, Sister Washington, Miss Ritter, the brothers and sisters from out of town. They talked about economics, education. Our good brother Mike Breland, leadership. They laid it out there, and I wasn't bored, not one single bit. So now all we got to do is put all that information together, follow up, and put it into action. They laid it out there. From education, the policies, family issues. But they really drove it home on education, different things going on in different agencies that I didn't even know existed. Just when you think you know it all, God put someone in your midst or in your circle to show you that out of the 360 degrees of knowledge, you lucky if you got one or two of those 360 degrees. Now, I'm just laying it out there. They laid it out there. And man, I'm going to say it again. My sister, Tanya Morgan, oh man, she almost had me crying in that church. She got up there with her bold, beautiful self. And Mr. Morgan, I hope you don't mind me saying that. It's all in respect. You got yourself a beautiful wife. Man, she got up there and quoted my opening that I just did about, greeting our whole family. We're not all going to believe the same, right? So that's why I greet everyone, our Hebrew Israelite family, our Muslim family, our Christian family. And she greeted everyone, and she asked me before, was it okay? I said, of course it's okay. It's about, and I mean, she was right on point. But even more after that, the way she laid out the disparity within policies and different agencies that I didn't even know existed, man, it was beyond powerful. I mean, gave the statistics, and I felt Satan's presence there. I seen them writing their notes. But one thing they won't call her is a liar, because she laid out their agencies and their statistics. In each group, agencies that I didn't even know existed. She laid it right on out there. So I think Brother Chip Dalton recorded that program, the whole program. All of it was powerful. All of it was powerful. But that right there, and my good brother Jeff Kirkland at the end, I wish he had more time too, when he was talking about the history of York. I'm going to make sure I get both of them on my program, the Hour Power, on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Channel 16. I'm going to make sure I get both of them on there. Hell, I may go to the mayor and say I need 2 hours apiece. The heck with the 8 to 9. I need 2 hours apiece for both of them. So she can go deeper into the disparity with the policies and the numbers. I mean, we know it's disparities, but to hear the agencies, the name of the agencies, broken down and give the exact numbers for each agency. Man, salute to you, sis. You the real MVP. And your husband, Mr. Morgan. You the real MVP. So thank you, brother, for allowing us to have access to your strong queen like that. Man, y'all the real MVP. And Brother Kirkland and all the rest, every single speech that I heard, man, people needed to be there for that. It was all relevant information, real time, what's going on in York and anywhere else. We could have took that whole seminar today, and like a perfect piece to a puzzle, we could have took it to Chicago. Bam, it would have fit. We could have took it to Philly. Bam, it would have fit. We could have took it to Los Angeles. Bam, it would have fit. Anywhere in this country where black and brown people are, it could have fit like a perfect piece to a puzzle and been relevant. That's how powerful it was. All we got to do is implement it now. All we got to do is implement it. They laid it out there. Salute to Mr. Jeff Kirkland. Salute to Mr. Kerry Kirkland and his beautiful wife. Salute to my brother Dominic and everyone else. Salute to Cornerstone Baptist Church for giving us the space. But we can't be satisfied. It should have been more people there. We got to find out a way to get this information to the people who really need it. Who really, really need it. We all need it. But y'all know what I mean. I don't know the answer. Because I've tried to do things like this in North Carolina and other places. And the people that really need it, you look around and be like, man, I wish so-and-so was here to see or hear this. I wish so-and-so was here, not to embarrass anyone. But you know what I mean. The people that really need it, they really needed to hear that live and in person. Man, but salute to everyone on the panel today. Y'all the real MVP. And another MVP I want to talk about. So I had to leave around 11 o'clock because I gave my word to my brother, Alafia, that I would support him with his boys group that he has every Saturday at 11 o'clock. And we went to his house. Normally we do it at Penn Park, but we went to his house. And we taught the young brothers how to cook, how to feed themselves physically, and how to feed themselves mentally. And the title of the lecture was, You Must Learn. You know where I'm going with this. You must learn. And we played the song by our great brother, KRS-One, You Must Learn. And I don't want to hear nothing about children can't learn. They can't sit still. They out of control. They disruptive. Some of them are. but it's not a disease. Now, I'm a therapist myself and a counselor myself and a mentor, so to speak, myself. I'm in the school system every day. That is a complete lie. We debunked the 5-step program for black boys within an hour today. Are y'all still with me? We debunked the 5-step program for black boys within an hour with Alafia's program today. And I know you're probably like, Brother Sharif, what's the 5-step program for black boys? If you can hang in there with me a couple more minutes, I'll explain it. The 5-step program for black boys was debunked within an hour with us having that program, that session called You Must Learn, and teaching them how to make themselves physical food. We gave them beef sausage and taught them how to make pancakes right from a griddle. The 5-step program for black boys is step number 1. All of us have went through it. Really, I should say the 5-step program for black children, but it's especially designed for black boys. Write this down if you got some pen and paper, because you might not hear it anywhere else. This is the Hour of Power and the Black Love Movement with Brother Sharif. Let me get a little quick drink of water before I drop this. The 5-step program for black boys. Step 1, miseducation. Not teaching our boys their history. Not teaching our boys their history. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is frustration. So since they're not taught their history and they don't see anyone in the classroom, particularly black male teachers, they talked about that today too with Mr. Breland and others in education. It was a sister, I forget her name. I believe she was from Pittsburgh, man. She was dropping atomic bombs up in there. Since we don't have black teachers, particularly black male teachers, then the children get disinterested and frustrated. So, step 1, miseducation, not teaching them their history, which leads into frustration. Ain't nothing wrong with our children. Ain't nothing wrong with them. So they get frustrated. They start moving around and fidgeting. They're really disinterested. So that leads into frustration. Frustration leads into step number 3. Medication. Oh, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Johnson, I need for you to come in to the school today. We need to talk to you about Jamar. He's acting up. Get in there. And they start telling you about how he's not listening, how he's not sitting still. Right? Dr. Jamie Bracey, thank you. He's not sitting still when really he's disinterested. But we have something to help little Jamar listen. Ritalin, Adderall, Concerta, Focalin, the whole 9. Now it's a medication. And the side effects of a lot of those medications are worse than what the original symptoms are. Suicidal ideations, tics, blood and stool, aggression, sleeplessness, insomnia, fast pounding heartbeat. How the hell are you going to learn with all that going on? And from medication and making you aggressive, that leads into step number 4, incarceration. If it's making you aggressive, you can't sleep. Now you're getting into scraps with your boys and Lord knows what else. Then after taking all that stuff from the age of 6, because you can give children psychotropic medication from the age of 6. Remember, I'm a therapist and a counselor in the school. I've been doing this for years in different states. I just came from North Carolina. Now you get incarcerated. You know what goes on in there. You know what goes on in there. And if you don't, you're talking to a brother who's done counseling and therapy in there, mostly counseling and mentoring. So now you come out of there, taking medicine, all kind of traumatic things have happened to our boys and our girls in there. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Then you come out, you can't get a job. All kind of things happen. All kind of things happen. Extermination. You you commit suicide, either someone kills you or maybe the police kill you. That's the 5-step program that many of us have experienced. Miseducation, frustration, medication, incarceration, extermination. All of us have experienced it and have been traumatized by it, either by a family member or ourselves. All of us have been miseducated, hence is why we had to have the African American roundtable discussion today. All of us have been frustrated. Some of us have been medicated. Some of us have been incarcerated, and we have had a family member or friend who have been exterminated. Well, today, family and friends and foes, I'm telling you, with my brother's program, Alafia's teaching group, we debunked that bullshit within an hour. I told you viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to say it one more time, and you tell me if I'm lying. Miseducation, frustration, medication, incarceration, extermination. We debunked that crap within an hour. If you would have seen the way them boys was listening when they heard KRS-One, not Meek Mill, not the Nene, not whatever these crazy dances. What's the girl named Kiki? Not none of that. KRS-One, you must learn. They were wide open, learning about the traffic lights, learning about Dr. Drew with the blood plasma preservation, the whole nine. Haile Selassie, Elijah Muhammad, Martin Luther King, Minister Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, the pyramids. They were wide open because it's not being taught to them. Wide open. If you got ADHD, which is supposedly a medical condition, how come it comes and goes? Come on, talk to me now. Talk to me now. A medical condition don't come and go. Meaning, they say ADHD, here's the book, here, the DSM. We're on the DSM-5 now. I just got an older one. We're on the DSM. They say ADHD often fidgets with hands and feet, squirms, easily distracted, can't pay attention, has difficulty following through with instructions. If you have ADHD, it's a medical condition. You should have it all the time. How come children with this supposed ADHD can sit in front of the PlayStation, the Nintendo Switch for 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours, if not longer, and pay attention? Talk to me now. If you have this medical condition, it should persist no matter where you're at or what setting. No matter where you're at or what setting. No matter where you're at, what setting. So if you got ADHD, them children shouldn't be able to sit in front of that Nintendo and that PlayStation for 3 and 4 hours straight and pay attention. Did you ever hear of a child getting kicked out of football or basketball practice because they couldn't pay attention? How about them on the phone with their little boo, which they shouldn't have? How about on the phone with their boo for an hour or so, they paying attention to her or him? Come on now. Come on now. I'm a diabetic, unfortunately. I can't turn off my diabetes when I go to Golden Corral. Oh, I'm not going to be a diabetic now. No, I got to take my medicine. I got to have that tight diet no matter where I'm at. Why? Because it's a medical condition. Stay woke. Stay woke. I'm not telling you what to do with your children. I'm just saying stay woke. Now, if your child is a danger to himself or someone else, they may need a pill, especially if they suicidal. But for the love of God, just to throw them on medicine, which is going to do sometimes irreversible damage to them mentally and physically. I just gave you some of the side effects. Think about what you're doing. Some of the side effects again: suicidal ideation, insomnia, aggression, fast pounding heartbeat, jaundice, ticks and stool, suicidal ideation, aggression. Well, I thought that's some of the reasons why you gave me the medicine. Stay woke. Stay woke. Teach your children their history so they don't become a victim of the 5-step program for black boys. Teach them their history, because we got some people on the other side teaching some of their children that we're the opposite of kings and queens in what we learned in You Must Learn. What do I mean by that? Just the other day, I was in a certain school district, I'm not going to say where, all white children. I'm a therapist and I go in that school. My clients are white. They're in the library, 5 different tables, right? 5 different tables, and at each table there was about 5 or 6 different books on the table, and they had to take a piece of paper, write the author of the book, the title of the book, when the book was written, different things, giving them dictation skills. I'm going to say it again. It was 5 different tables, about 5, 6 students at each table, and many books on that table, and they had to practice their dictation skills, title, name of the book, when it was written, who wrote it. Now, at the table that my client was at this table, and salute to whoever this teacher are, we are taught to recognize truth, no matter where it comes from. So all this that Muslims and hate people and all that is absolutely not true. All right? We are taught, and even the most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, recognize truth wherever it comes from. Even if the devil himself says something that's true, we have to acknowledge it. So salute to whoever this teacher at this particular table I was at. It was all books about black people. Oprah Winfrey, Langston Hughes, Michael Jordan, all kind of books about black people. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Do you know, and these children were only in the 4th and 5th grade, do you know that when it was time for them to work at this table, the children just stopped? They just stopped working. And the teacher came over to them and said, hey, are y'all having trouble with the work that you're working on? They said, we're not working on these books. This is what the children told the teacher. And right away, she picked up on what was going on. I'm going to say it again. At this table, with all these books of black people in an all-white school, they stopped working. And the children said, we're not working on these books. And the teacher saw me standing there. I said, I'm going to get my popcorn out. This is going to get interesting. But it didn't make me feel comfortable. And she saw it. I just sat there. I said, let me see how she handles this. She said, we're not working on these books. That's what the students said. About 3, 4 of them. Someone taught them that. Someone taught them that. So right away, the teacher got, she's looking over at me and looking at them. She said, was there a problem? They said it again. They said, we're not working. We don't want to work on these books. But I saw them working on the other books about natures and sharks and animals. They was working on them books. But when they came to the table that had black people on it, that have achieved things, they said, we're not working on these books. I said, wow. So for all you people out there that say, oh, there you go again with that black stuff, with that Pan-African stuff, with that black conscious stuff. Yeah, because of that. When that stops, I'll stop. Well, I'm not going to stop because you should always know about yourself. But that's the reason I keep pushing Pan-Africanism, black consciousness, and that black stuff, because of that stuff. When that stuff stops, I'll think about maybe if pushing my stuff. It ain't my stuff, but the black stuff that you criticize. Some of us, like Sister Tanya, Brother Dominic, the Kirklands, and the program we have today. You keep wondering why we push that. Because of that. That's some of the reason. Very, very interesting how we the only people that ostracize our own people for pushing our program and our history. When the Chinese come in our neighborhoods and open another store that's not for us, I don't hear no one saying, there they go again with that Chinese stuff, or that Korean stuff, or that Asian stuff, or that Mexican stuff. Not only don't you ostracize them, you support it. Very interesting. So salute to Sister April with the new store, Cornbread West. I ate there today. Absolutely delicious. Salute to her. Support black business. Support black business. Finishing out, If can y'all hang in there with me a couple more minutes? Can I get an amen or a thumb sign or whatever those emojis y'all send? Can y'all hang in there with me a couple more minutes? Send me a sign. If not, I'm going to sign off because I don't like over burdening people. And I know you could be doing anything, but you're sitting here listening to me. All right, there's some signs. Marshall, have you ever heard of Marshall Major Taylor? Marshall Major Taylor, an American cyclist hero. An American cyclist hero. Major Marshall Taylor, born in 1878 in Indianapolis. Around 1887, Mr. Taylor's father began working for a rich white family named the Southards in Indianapolis. Taylor became close, I'm going kind of fast, he became close with one of the sons named Daniel from the Southard family. This is in the 1880s. From age 8 to 12, Marshall Major Taylor got in good with the family, named one of the sons named Daniel, but it could put kind of unrealistic expectations in his mind because he was with a white family and they was treating him pretty good. They taught him how to read, went to good schools, but then his short stint from age 8 to 12 of having unrealistic expectations of life, we're in the 1800s now, the tail end of 1800s, that came to a screeching halt because the Southards, the family he was living with, moved from Indianapolis to Chicago at age 12. So reality set back in. He went back to Indianapolis, meaning Marshall Major Taylor. And they bought him a bike. The white family, they bought him a bike. He took that bike back to Indianapolis, started doing all kind of tricks and riding around. He was so daggone good that a bike shop in Indianapolis hired him to do bike tricks and entertain people driving by and walking by this bike shop. And he earned $6 a week, which was a heck of a lot for a black person and a heck of a lot of money back in 1888. By 1893, Marshall Major Taylor met a man by the name of Louis Munger, who established the Worcester Cycle Manufacturing Bike Company. And he trained Taylor to be a world-class bicyclist or biker or racer. By 1896, Taylor became a professional bike racer in Indianapolis. As an amateur, I'm back up, he won bike races at age 15. And in 1892, he won a 1-mile race. Then he was barred from the track because he was black. Now the reality is setting in. But I'm going to give you the good stuff. In 1895, Marshall Major Taylor won a 75-mile road race. And he was the only one that could finish. And his white competitors start sending him nasty threats. They couldn't finish the 75-mile race. And he entered as an amateur with adults, and they couldn't even finish. His name is Marshall Major Taylor. In 1895, he was in the New York Times as a major bike racer. I'm going to keep giving you his name, Marshall Major Taylor. And they said he got the middle name Major because he won major and set major records in bike racing, a bicyclist. Most of the time when we see a brother on a bike, it's a brother named Pookie running from the police. This wasn't the case. Marshall Major Taylor. He set major records and won major bike events all throughout the world. In 1885 and 96, he won many races of different lengths and set many different bike records. In 1896, he raced at Madison Square Garden, the same Madison Square Garden with the New York Knickerbockers. In front of 5,000 people, he won multiple races. Mr. Taylor won a 1-mile race in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1896 and finished 4th in Philly in 1897. I'm going to say it again. In 1897, Taylor won a 1-mile race right close to here in Reading, Pennsylvania, and finished fourth in Philly in 1897. Yeah. Marshall Major Taylor. In 1898 and 1899, he established 7 world records ranging from a quarter mile to 2 miles. I'ma say it again. Marshall Major Taylor. In 1898 and 1899, established 7 world records. Not in basketball, not in football, not in baseball, but in bicycling, ranging from a quarter mile to 2 miles. In 1899, he won the world championship in Montreal, Canada. Marshall Major Taylor. In 1901, he went to Europe to compete and have more events, but he refused to race on Sundays because he was a Baptist Christian. I'ma say it again. The brother in 1901 could have won more events during that event in Europe and before, but he relinquished his chance to win events because a lot of the events were on Sundays, but he refused to race on a Sunday because he was a Baptist Christian. Man, salute, brother. You the real MVP. Salute to you for standing up for what you believe in. I'ma say it for a third time. He could have won more events before 1901, but in particularly in 1901 when he traveled to Europe. But he showed them what a real child of God was. And he refused to participate in events because many of them were on Sundays. And he said, no, I'm serving my Lord on this day. Man, you the real MVP. He set world records in France and Paris from 1904 to 1906. He always faced racism. Many of his competitors restricted him from entering races. They wouldn't give him hotels. They wouldn't give him food when he even did get in a hotel. White riders would try to scare him by sending him threatening messages. They would bump him during races, which is illegal. They would put nails and ice and water in his path while he was riding. I'm going to say it again. They would put nails in his path while he's riding a bike. Ride up against him if they could catch him, if they could even get close to him because he was that damn fast, and bump him while he's riding his bike, putting nails in his path. Man, what this man must have went through. This is in the 1800s and the early 1900s. One racer in 1897 in Massachusetts named William Becker lost to Mr. Taylor. After the race was over, he snuck up behind Mr. Taylor, choked him out on the racetrack until Mr. Taylor was unconscious. He got a goddamn $50 fine for his transgression. I'ma say it again. Just like my sister Tanya had the names and the dates, I got the names and the dates. At a race in Massachusetts in 1897, our brother Marshall Major Taylor beat this man by the name of William Becker. After the race was over, he snuck up behind Marshall Major Taylor, choked him out almost to death till he was unconscious, and he got a goddamn $50 fine. Could you imagine if it was the reverse? White riders and fans, again, would put nails and ice and all kind of obstacles in his path. But listen, even though things are in your path, you can get around them. He still kept on going until he couldn't take anymore. And in 1910, due to mental illness and mental stress and racial prejudice beyond belief, Marshall Major Taylor, he said, I had enough, and he retired in 1910. He could have won more bicycling or racing events. He could have set more records, but two things kind of put a damper on that. He wouldn't race on Sundays because of his faith of being a Christian and because of the obstacles put in his path that I just explained. that, and they would ban him from certain races. They would ban him. But he kept on pushing. He kept on moving on. So that's the message tonight. Keep on pushing. But right here, I'm speaking for right here, a change is going to come. It's already happening. It happened today. And I have to say it honest. Man, our sisters were leading that thing. And when I saw our sister, Tanya, and others, Miss Bracy and Miss Ritter, I said, man, I feel sorry for the person that had to follow that up. I'm glad I wasn't speaking today. And I believe I know how to give my information, but I wouldn't want it to have to follow any of that today. Now, our brother who is the pastor at Shiloh out West End, I felt sorry for him. I said, you got to follow that up, especially when Sister Morgan got up there and dropped them atomic bombs. Now, I'm going to tell the truth. The brother did well, but I was shaking and I wasn't even on the panel. I said, I wouldn't have to follow that up. Oh, man, salute. Better you than me, bruh. Better you than me. But you held it down. I ain't saying nothing negative about anyone. I'm just telling you the anxiety that I felt. After she got done in them couple seconds when he had to get up there and others, I said, I wouldn't have to follow that. Man, that's almost like being, if you're a sports fan and you remember the dunk contests, they have the dunk contest every year at the All-Star game. And goddamn Michael Jordan glides from the line and pumps it. Or Dominique Wilkins does his double pump dunk backwards. You're like, how the hell are you going to follow that? How are you going to follow that? That's what I was thinking. But they did well. But the sisters held that down. Man, y'all the real MVPs. York, PA, let's come together. They laid down the foundation. All we have to do is stop dedicating all our time to the NFL. I'm going to say it again. Some brothers. And if you don't know what to do, get behind the people who do know what to do. Put your ego aside. Eat some humble pie. And get behind the people that's already doing it. The time is now. The time is now. To come together, put our differences aside. You don't gotta be best buddy, bosom buddy friends with everyone. Put that aside and let's do some work to save our people. I'm gonna say it one more time. To save them from the 5-step program for our children. Miseducation. Not teaching them their history, which leads into frustration. Ain't nothing wrong with most of these children. They are frustrated. They are suffering from an attachment disorder. And if you want to name something, I was talking to my good brother, listening to my good brother, Dr. Umar. Me and him are good friends. They are suffering from an attachment disorder, meaning the detachment from their father. Those boys that were there, man, just having a black man there to show them and back them up. They are suffering from an attachment disorder. The man that made this up, Dr. Leon Eisenberg, and I'll be done. He is the father of ADHD. 5 years ago on his deathbed, he admitted that he made the damn disease up. Look it up. Dr. Leon Eisenberg. Leon, Leon Eisenberg, Eisenberg. He is the father of ADHD on his deathbed. All you got to do is look it up. He admitted that he made ADHD up for financial gain for the pharmaceutical company. He said it is a fictitious disease. If it's a lie, he told it. I'm going to say it again. Dr. Leon Eisenberg, the father of ADHD, admitted on his deathbed 5 years ago that ADHD is a fictitious disease. He said it. And then they wrote it off as, oh, he was senile. He knew exactly the hell what he was saying. Miseducation. Step 1, frustration, medication. I already gave you the side effects, which leads into incarceration, then extermination. Miseducation, frustration, medication, incarceration, extermination. Don't let your children fall victim to those 5 steps. Shame on us. We debunked the whole damn bullshit today at Alafia's group. I'll leave you in peace as I can. I gave you the disclaimer. Viewer discretion is advised. But it's the truth. If you can disprove anything I said, please contact me and I will humble myself and get back on and clear it up. You might not like the language or the vulgarity of it, but my book tells us speak to the people in the language of the people so they may understand. And like Sister Tanya said again today, it's time to flip some damn tables. Maybe not necessarily in a physical way, but mentally, it's time to flip some tables. Man, you the real MVP, sis, and everyone else that gave their time today. I leave you in peace as I came. Assalamu alaikum.